And welcome to Facts or Frauds.
Hello, can I have your name, please?
My name is Daniel Magoo.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, you said your last name is pronounced Magoo?
Yes, ma'am.
And generally speaking, I appoint the public defender's office to represent at least at the arraignment stage, but I was informed that you didn't want to speak with the public defender, so are you intending to represent yourself for the arraignment?
I'm here to figure out what the charges are. What am I being charged with?
Now calling case number 25S00289. This is the state of Michigan versus Daniel Ryan Magoo. Can you please state your name for the record?
I'm trying to figure out what the charge is.
Yes, that is the purpose of the hearing today. So, as
Who's
part
the complaining victim?
as part of the proceedings, can I have you please state your name for the record?
My name is Daniel Magoo,
Okay.
and I am
thank
not
you.
a surety of the state. I'm not a ward of the state.
Okay.
Can I ask what the charges are?
Yes, I am getting there. Please give me a moment. So, what we are here for today is an arraignment. The purpose of an arraignment is to inform you what you are being charged with and to make sure that you understand the charges. I am not going to be asking if you agree with the charges. I am not even going to be asking if you understand why you are being charged with them. The purpose is to make sure that you understand what the charges mean and that you understand what the potential maximum penalties are. So, what I have here is a misdemeanor complaint that charges that on or about or between the dates of February 15th, 2025 and June 23rd, 2025 at McKean Lot 72. You did maliciously use a service provided by a telecommunications service provider with the intent to terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, annoy, or disturb the peace and quiet of Alyssa McCloskey, an individual with whom you have a child in common, by using any vulgar, indecent, obscene, or offensive language, or suggesting any lewd or lascivious act in the course of a conversation or message through the use of a telecommunications service or device. This is otherwise known as malicious use of a telecommunications service. Do you understand what the charge means?
I do not understand that. I do not understand malicious use
Let
of a
me
telephone
rephrase.
service.
Do you comprehend that what I am saying is that you allegedly maliciously used a telecommunications service device that would generally be a cell phone. I suppose it could also be a computer or something else
No, that
you
didn't
could
happen.
use. Okay. And
February,
again, as
what were the
stated,
dates? What dates?
between February 15th and June 23rd
Of this
of
year?
this year. Yes. Okay. Now, as I stated at the beginning, I'm not asking you if you agree with the charges. I'm not asking you if you understand why you are being charged with them. What I want to know, basically, is do you know what the words coming out of my mouth mean?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No.
Okay. So the way that this is going to work is this. If I am not able to arraign you on the charges because I can't tell if you understand what I am saying, then the next thing that happens is that you get referred for a competency evaluation. At this point, I do not know how long that will take, and that means that you will stay where you are until we are able to either arraign you or you are determined to be incompetent.
So I don't have, I'm not like I said before, I'm not a surety. I'm not a ward. I'm actually a protected individual and I did no crime. There has been no body of a crime, no corpus delicti. I have committed no crime at all.
Mr. Magoo. If I cannot determine whether or not you can understand what you're being charged with, then I cannot arraign you.
Okay.
So,
If there is not a body of a crime, if I have not harmed anybody, then you can't arraign me. It's corpus delicti. It can't happen. And if you do try to enter in a plea of competency, or I don't know what is that? What you're gonna hold me here hostage until what? A body of a crime happens? When is the crime gonna happen?
okay. So, Mr. Magoo, we will not be proceeding today with the arraignment. You are free to go to the door and tell the jail that you are finished. Thank you. Now calling 25S00289. This is the state of Michigan versus Daniel Ryan Magoo. Mr. Magoo, can you state your name for the record, please?
Daniel Magoo.
Okay. Before we get started, will you be accepting Attorney Moten's representation for the purposes of this arraignment?
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to do this in a slightly different order than I usually do. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say out loud or in writing can be used against you in court. You have the right to be presumed innocent beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to a trial by judge or by jury. You have the right to be represented by an attorney during all stages of these court proceedings, that is before, during, and after trial. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to you. And again, we do have Attorney Moten here who can represent you at least for the purposes of this arraignment. Lastly, you are not required to disclose citizenship status to the court, but you do have the right to consult with an attorney to see if this case would have any effect on your citizenship status. If that last part doesn't apply to you, then you don't need to worry about it. So, do you have any questions about your rights?
Who would I talk to about my citizen status?
An attorney. So you can talk to Attorney Moten about it, or you can retain counsel.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, we are here today for an arraignment on the following. What I have is a misdemeanor complaint. So this is alleging that you would stand accused of the following offenses that occurred in Ypsilanti Township on or about or between the dates of February 15th, 2025 through June 23rd, 2025. The location being 6988 McKean, Lot 72. Count 1, charges that you did maliciously use a service provided by a telecommunications service provider with the intent to terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, annoy, or disturb the peace and quiet of Alyssa McCloskey, an individual with whom you have a child in common, by using any vulgar, indecent, obscene, or offensive language, or suggesting any lewd or lascivious act in the course of a conversation or message through the use of a telecommunications service or device. This is, again, a misdemeanor. It has a maximum penalty of up to 6 months in jail, a $1,000 fine plus court costs, or both the jail time and the fine. Count 2, charges that you did maliciously use a service provided by a telecommunications service provider with the intent to terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, annoy, or disturb the peace and quiet of Scott McCloskey by using any vulgar, indecent, obscene, or offensive language, or suggesting any lewd or lascivious act in the course of a conversation or message through the use of a telecommunications service or device. Again, this is known as malicious use of a telecommunications service. It is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 6 months in jail, a $1,000 fine plus court costs, or both the jail time and the fine. So you understand that you are currently standing accused of 2 separate counts of malicious use of telecommunication services.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, Attorney Moten, do you want to address the plea and the bond?
Yes, Ashley Martin on behalf of Mr. Magoo, who will stand mute to the charges. Mr. Magoo presents himself today in a much better space than he was last week. We discussed the bond conditions. He has no issues with any of them. I did see on the prosecutor's bond form, they're asking for a monetary bond and a tether. I believe both is pretty excessive for this charge. He hasn't had any issues, or there haven't been any reports about having any contact or physical contact with either of these complaining witnesses. There are pending civil cases for false police reports regarding these matters. He is in custody until at least until the 17th for other pending charges. We are requesting a nominal bond so he can get jail credit that will convert to a personal bond if he is released on those other cases. If the court finds that a tether is necessary, then we understand that. But however, I believe both is pretty excessive. So we are requesting either the tether or a nominal bond that'll convert to a personal bond. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The court will set a pretrial conference date that will be July 21st, 2025. That will be at 9 in the morning over Zoom in front of Judge Washington. The court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to purchase or possess any firearms, ammunition, other dangerous weapons, or the means to create them. Any weapons that you do possess are to be surrendered. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. Within 24 hours of your release, you are to report to community corrections for drug and alcohol testing. You will need $12 and a photo ID. You are not to have contact with Alyssa McCloskey or Scott McCloskey. When the court says no contact, what the court means is the following. You are not to have in-person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact over the computer or phone or other telecommunications service or device via phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form, or through third parties. You are not to go to that McKean address. When the court says do not go, the court does not care. If you own a place, rent a place, or are personally invited to go to a place, do not go. You are not to engage in any sort of assaultive, threatening, harassing, terrorizing, molesting, or stalking behaviors towards Alyssa McCloskey or Scott McCloskey or anyone else. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. You are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court, the next one in this matter being that July 21st pretrial at 9 in the morning over Zoom. These conditions will be, that also means going to community corrections as directed. These conditions will be entered into the Law Enforcement Information Network. They will be readily accessible to any police officers that you may come into contact with. And if they have probable cause to believe that you have violated one of these conditions, they can arrest you on the spot and you'll be held for a bond violation hearing in front of a judge who may revoke your bond and set a new, more restrictive one. At this time, the court is going to set a $10,000 cash or surety bond. 10% is allowed. Mr. Magoo, do you have any questions about anything I've just said?
The bond meaning can I not be released until that bond is paid? Or is it if I violate, I have to? How does that work?
So at this time, it's a $10,000 bond. You can post $1,000 to be released. But my understanding is that there are other matters keeping you
Yeah,
in custody at the moment.
so you're saying that if even if I cleared up all the other matters, unless I post $1,000 from the 10% of the 10,000, that I'm stuck in custody ultimately indefinitely, unless I post $1,000.
Currently, yes, that can be readdressed at your next court date, though, on the 21st.
That is really intangible. I would just really request a smaller bond, being that there's pending civil cases against these people for malicious use of law enforcement, and false reporting in federal court.
Thank you, Mr. Magoo. And I can appreciate that. I can also appreciate the that there was a bench warrant issued for failure to appear out of the 22nd Circuit Court. So bond is set for two reasons. One is to ensure your appearance at future court dates. All right. So at this time, bond is what it is. You can certainly request that it be modified either through a motion prior to your next court date or at the next court date. But your hearing is concluded at this point. You are free to go to the door and tell the jail that you are finished.
Thank you, Ashley.
Here we go. Court does call the case of the people versus Daniel Magoo.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ashley Lottie for the people.
Sir, state your name.
I'm here on a special appearance, Your Honor. Magoo is Easy Elastical Trust, registered in Jackson County, under case number 2522246.
Okay, is your name Daniel Magoo?
Your Honor, that is the name you seek, and it is copyrighted and trademarked.
Okay, very well. Ms. Magoo, are you represented by an attorney, or do you wish to be represented by an attorney on these matters?
I am not.
Do you wish to be?
No. Not at this time.
Let me then do this. You have two cases before this court, one being the case ending, let me get the full case number 25 F40523. In that case, sir, the complaint does allege that on March 27, 2004, you committed the offense of operating while intoxicated. Do you understand what you're charged with?
I do not.
You do not understand
There is
that?
no eyewitnesses or corroborating witnesses at all.
I'm not asking whether or not the proofs are there. Do you understand what you are charged with?
I do not.
Do you understand the notion of drunk driving?
I do not understand how I could be
We've been
charged with
through this
something without a
before on
witness.
your other cases when you represent yourself, so we'll just do it.
Are you talking about the case that's in federal court right now,
You
Your
are
Honor?
before a complaint in that case for a charge of operating while intoxicated, third offense. Because it's a third offense, that is a felony. It is punishable by up to $500 to $5,000, up 1 to 5 years incarceration. The court can order probation, 30 days to 1 year in jail, or at least 48 hours must be conserved consecutively. The court can also order community service, rehabilitative programs. The court can also order your vehicle immobilized, can order you to pay the cost of the prosecution, as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services.
As I am here and as a trust, Your Honor, I am here in exclusive equity.
You count 2 on that complaint is the charge of operating while license suspended, denied, and or revoked. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs, and your vehicle could be subject to immobilization.
My license is
Count
canceled,
3.
not suspended or revoked. It
Count
is canceled
3
through the state
on
of
that
Michigan.
complaint
Canceled.
is the charge of escape from lawful custody. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year, a $1,000 fine.
I was never arrested or read any Miranda rights accordingly.
Assume, given that the defendant is talking in English, that he understands English, understands the nature of those charges and what he's charged against.
So malicious prosecution by
wishes to
Washtenaw County
represent
prosecutor as
himself.
usual.
Sir, there is great peril in representing yourself. You will be held to the same standards as anybody apply or for.
This is a matter under the Eastern
Not
District of
assist you
Michigan
in
Federal
any
Court.
way. or
Case
show
number
you any
2511
favoritism because you were
226.
not represented by counsel. I would further indicate, sir, that at any point during these proceedings, if you wish to be represented by counsel, you can make that request to the court and counsel would be appointed to represent you. Because of the defendant's conduct in the past in not acknowledging the court and what the court is saying, the court does make the presumption that he does speak English. He understands that. I would further state on the record that Mr. Magoo has been through this process before. He does understand that if he does wish to be represented by counsel, the court would give him counsel or would have counsel appointed to represent him in this matter. In the case 25F30979, in that case, sir, you are before a complaint that alleges that on or about July 3rd of 2025, count 1 is fleeing and eluding 4th degree.
Added on by the
Police
prosecutor's
officer.
office after the
Sir,
fact.
that is a felony, punishable by up
Malicious
to 2 years
prosecution.
incarceration and a $2,000 fine plus court costs, mandatory suspension by the Secretary of State.
My Secretary of
2
State, anything
is
is canceled. I have no contracts with the state of
Vehicle,
Michigan.
that is a misdemeanor.
This
Charged
is a matter of trust, Your Honor. This is a matter of trust. I am protected
to
under a
90
trust.
days in jail, a $100 fine plus court cost. Count 3 on that complaint alleges operating a motor vehicle without security. That is a misdemeanor, not punishable by not more than 1 year incarceration and not less than $200 nor $500 fine plus court cost. Count 4 is operating while license suspended, denied, and or revoked. That is a misdemeanor.
All of my registrations are through the federal government. I have federal government
$500
registration.
plus
I do
court
not have
costs.
contracts with the
Vehicle could
state.
be subject to mobilization. Count 5 on that complaint alleges refusal to obey refusal to
I have an international driver's
police
permit.
officer. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days, $100 fine plus court cost. I would indicate to the defendant the same admonishments regarding the perils in representing oneself that I stated in the other case also apply to this case.
Were you served your
And that
notice
if
and
the
summons yet, Your Honor?
wishes to have counsel appointed, the court would consider or would appoint counsel to represent him in this matter. And he apparently wishes to proceed.
Were you served your notice
Having
and summons
notice
for federal
of
court?
the charges, sir, do you wish to still proceed without an attorney?
I just want to know, where do you get
Do
your
you
powers?
wish
Are
to
you an Article
proceed?
3 judge or an Article 6 judge? Where
Do
are your
you
vested
wish to
powers? Can you
proceed
answer
without
that?
an attorney?
You can't even answer
look
me
it
what your
up.
powers are.
You can look it up.
No, you guys disconnected my access to any kind of law library or anything. You are an Article 6 judge under the Michigan Constitution. You have no authority to deprive me of my
We'll
rights.
see how much authority I have. I will assume that you wish
This is
to
a matter
proceed
of
without
trust.
counsel. I will assume you wish to proceed without counsel and that you will wish to continue to proceed.
Practicing
without
law
counsel
from the
until you
bench.
Inform the court otherwise. Ms. Lundy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is the court completed the arraignment for the record at this time? on both
Well,
cases?
he had been arraigned. I was just admonishing him of the perils of representing himself and that it requires in part that I let him know what he is charged with. And I've read them kind of in fully, more so than I would have because he refuses to acknowledge those. So I am satisfied that he now knows all of the charges that are against him.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people would like to be heard on bond when appropriate.
All right. What do we want to set this for? Do you wish to have a preliminary examination, sir?
This is a matter of a federal matter now, Your Honor, under case number 2511226, under the Eastern District of Michigan, under the Honorable Mark A. Goldsmith and Magistrate Judge David R. Grand. There is no proceeding here, Your Honor.
There is no proceeding. Oh, there's a proceeding.
Well, malicious prosecution is what the proceeding is.
Okay, very good. Do you wish to have a preliminary examination?
There's no proceeding, Your Honor. This is a matter that should be stayed and
What is
dismissed.
the people's position on whether or not we should set this for a preliminary examination or adjourn to probable cause?
Your Honor, I don't know if the defendant has received all discovery in this matter as he is representing himself, so I would request a probable cause date, potentially.
Because you've got to send it.
Yeah, and who restricted
So,
my phone
probable cause
calls?
Conference, you know what?
Who?
You're gonna have to stop interrupting. I will give you an opportunity. You've been before me before. I will give you an opportunity to say whatever you want to say. But I'm not gonna have you interrupt me and I'm not gonna have you interrupt the people when they're talking. Ms. Lundy, you were saying.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have to there's video evidence in addition to the paper discovery. I've got to make arrangements with Lieutenant Arnett to work on that. So it may take just a bit longer. I would potentially look at the 7th, maybe, if the court would have entertained that. And then I will wait to be heard on bond when the time is appropriate.
I will adjourn the probable cause August 7th, 2025, 9 a.m. As to bond.
Your Honor, I've been reviewing ex-jail and I wanted to double check if the defendant had been arraigned. It's not clear to me from a couple of different things, but it does appear that he has been set with a $10,000 bond in 25 F30979, as well as 25 F40523, each $10,000.
Yes.
Your Honor, I do think it's important that the court have some additional information, and I would have to ask the court to revisit the issue of bond. First and foremost, I think it's important the court know that the facts alleged in the newest case, the 25 F30979, it does include the fact that the Michigan State trooper who pulled the defendant over noted in his police report that the defendant had a license on his vehicle that indicated he was a diplomat and that he refused to identify himself. He refused for quite a bit of time. Additional units had to be brought to the scene from the sheriff's department in order to, for lack of a better term, deal with the situation. And ultimately, they were able to identify him as the defendant, Daniel Magoo. The concern with that goes along with the other case, which is an OWI. It is charged as a third. I will note that it is a true fourth, to the best of my understanding. So there does appear to be an alcohol problem going on. And I also think it's important for this court to know, because I don't know that the court knows, the defendant has a third new case, telecommunications malicious use with a domestic relationship, that is currently pending as well. He's also been set $10,000, 10% in that matter. But I think—
Where is that case out of?
That case is out of 14B, Your Honor, before Judge Washington.
A co-defendants with the federal case that you guys are both in, and this is a conflict of interest as both of you guys are defendants in my federal case.
Go ahead.
I also understand, Your Honor, that there is a municipal case out of Canton Township that was set for a jury trial in April of this year, where the defendant failed to appear. And there were jurors, there was a veneer that had been brought in. And I bring all of this up to say, Your Honor, that the people are concerned about the defendant's ability to remain law-abiding, because I'll also note for the record that at the time that the new resisting, obstructing, fleeing, eluding case and the telecommunications malicious use case came up, he was in bench warrant status before Judge Slay, is my understanding, for refusing to come after the case here had been bound over, refusing to appear in person. I say all of that to say this: I do think that $10,000 is too low. And I also am going to request a scram tether, because this is an OWI fourth alleged, as well as a GPS tether, given his history of failure to appear and failure to comply with court regulations. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is the bench warrant before Judge Slay still out?
She has bond denied in her case now.
His bond's been denied in that?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Got it. Anything you'd like to say?
Anything to do with any contracts with the state of Michigan are void ab initio for a matter of law, as I have an canceled driver's license and I have an international driver's permit. And that also relates to the Canton case that they're trying to stick me for a driving unlicensed suspended citation, in which that I have an international driver's permit, making it also void. All of my matters, including the vehicle that I'm registered under, are registered to the federal government, not the state, under the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. All of these charges are frivolous and a part of a long pattern of malicious prosecution by Ms. Lundy, the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office, and quite frankly, you, Your Honor.
Hearing argument regarding bond, the court does believe that it was an abuse of discretion, given the circumstances of this defendant, to set his bond at the $10,000 figure. After hearing argument, viewing the file, the court does believe that not only does the defendant pose a risk to the public,
No
I
victims.
do believe that the defendant is a risk of flight, given those circumstances and has indeed, or at least is charged in this case, refused to obey or fled and eluded.
That was added on afterwards. The
officer.
police officer did not report that at all.
Reasons the court, given those circumstances, would in each case raise the defendant's bond, grant the people's motion. Defendant's bond in each matter is set in the amount of $50,000 cash here. Thank you.
The tethers I requested, if he is able to post, Your Honor.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, in the jail, can you please, I think they're working on it right now. Tell us your first and last name. We don't know who you are.
Your Honor, I'm here on special appearance. I'm Daniel Magoo.
All right, thank you. All right, we're gonna put you in a breakout room with your attorney, Mr. Magoo. Could you take this offline?
People can be really nasty. Only the other day I heard someone say, he's nothing but a robot, covered in makeup, talks a lot of nonsense. What a way to talk about the President of America.
And thanks for hanging out with us on Facts or Frauds. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, you're subscribed, and ring that bell. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. And a major thank you to every one of our Facts or Frauds channel members. If you'd like to become a member, just hit that join button right next to subscribe or click on the link in the description. And if you're still hanging out, thank you. I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and ring that bell. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. If you'd like to become a member, you can do that too. Till next time, I'll see you soon.